Right. Okay. Hey, long time no see. So I'm actually a month into medical school now, which is crazy to say. I've been meaning to make this video for a little while now, just kind of reflecting on how it's been. And like I keep pushing it back. I'm like, oh, I need to study, not tonight. Or, oh, I'm too tired, I'll do it later. But at the end of the day, I'm always either gonna be studying or be tired. So today I was just like, okay, let me record this. I've been actually trying to write down my thoughts every once in a while in a little journal thing. So I have a couple thoughts written down about how this last month has been. All right, the first thing, it feels like it's flown by, but it also feels like I've been in med school forever. Like I can't believe it's already been a month since I was on summer break, but at the same time, I don't remember how life was before medical school, if that makes sense. But number two, it has been amazing. I feel like I'm finally learning things that I've been wanting to learn for so long. It just feels so good to not be sitting through introductory physics or intro chemistry or whatever. But the most amazing thing has definitely been the people. Like everyone is just like so smart, but at the same time so down to earth, and it's just a really like collaborative environment. I feel like during pre-med, yeah, while you had some of those pre-med friends that were great and all, the overall vibe of it was kind of competitive, because at the end of the day it is a competitive process to get into medical school. But now like everyone in medical school has a pretty good chance of becoming a doctor in some sense. And because of that, there's like not really that same sense of competition that there was as a pre-med. But yeah, just like in a month, I've made so many friends that I think I'll carry with me for like the rest of my life, and made so many memories. I'm just so excited to spend like 4 more years with these amazing people. Number 4, this is kind of a funny one, but the amount of respect you get as a med student versus as a pre-med is kind of crazy. It's like night and day. Like I remember as a pre-med, like you'd have to email like 30 doctors to get a shadowing opportunity, and maybe one of them would respond after like a week or two. Then you have to do like 5 weeks of paperwork and then do this and that. When you're a medical student, you can email whoever you want, and then like within the day or within like the hour, someone will respond to you. And if you want to shout at them, great. You just pull up to their clinic, say you're a medical student, and no one asks any questions. I don't think I've like fully adjusted yet. And yeah, like I think in 3rd year and as you go on in medical training, like those benefits aren't as like apparent, but right now, like it's awesome. All right, next thing. And you've probably heard this analogy before, but people often describe medical school as drinking water out of a fire hydrant. And like while I'd heard this, I'd never really realized the truth of it. But after being in medical school for just a month, it's so much information so quickly. And so transitioning that into like the harder parts of medicine, like it's not all sunshines and rainbows, unfortunately. Like a lot of the time this month has just been spent like trying to figure out how to study, because 1, there's just so many different ways you can study, and 2, one way you study might work for one set of information but won't work for something else. So you have to be like constantly changing how you study, and that's been a pretty difficult thing because it's completely different than how it is in undergrad or even like for the MCAT. But the positive is like the 2nd year medical students, 3rd, 4th, like are always really helpful with that regard, because they too struggled through it. So everyone is just really understanding. If you ever ask any questions, everyone's just always trying to help you, which is really nice. And the last thing I have here is with medical school comes new stressors, right? Like when you're a pre-med, the stress is just like getting into medical school. That's the hard part. I feel like as a pre-med, I spent so much time just trying to figure out how to get into medical school that I didn't spend enough time figuring out like what kind of medicine I want to practice, which is completely okay. Like you don't need to know what you want to do as a pre-med. Now being in medical school, you feel that added pressure to figure out like what you want to do with your life. But what's interesting is how many people don't know what they want to do with their life. And it kind of sucks, because I feel like anyone that's not in medicine, that's like the first question that they ask someone when they say that they're in medical school is, what kind of doctor you want to be? And when you say, I don't know, it kind of causes confusion. It's like, okay, then what are you in school for? Like, what are you learning? But explaining medicine to non-medical family and friends is a whole nother tangent that, you know, I can make a whole video on. I've also felt like opportunity overload in medical school. There's just so many things that you can do, so many opportunities to seize. You don't know where to put your time. So you're in this situation where your time is now like your most valuable resource, but I guess we'll figure it out. So in conclusion, I have a question on this page. Is it hard? Yeah, I mean, like it is the hardest thing that I've ever done, and I think it's only going to get harder every year. And this might sound corny, but having a good group of people that you can go through this journey with, even though you're struggling like every step of the way, makes it so much more enjoyable and manageable. Whether that's now as a first year medical student, or third year during rotations, or even as a resident, or even beyond as an actual like attending physician. It's the people that you're working with that make medicine what it is. And this might just be me as like a naive first year medical student saying this, but I don't think that there's a career as rewarding, at least for me, as becoming a physician. And while it's kind of hard and I'm kind of struggling right now, I'm having a great time.